I can't see that screen. It's nothing but a big blurry blob.
Oh God, no.
Well, I've had my glasses.
Yeah, I thought you could see. You'd see, but you can't read.
I can see.
Yeah.
I can see into the gym and everything. That's fine, and not blurry.
Yep.
But if I focus on that little screen,
Uh-huh.
it's just a blurred mess.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Because these glasses are like 6 years old.
Mm.
So, and I can read. If I read, I have to like read messages like that. Now I can see it. As soon as I start coming in now, blur, 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 mess, nothing. Anyway.
That's a good intro. Let's
Yeah.
keep that whole thing in there.
Just keep that whole thing in there. Thursday Thunder.
Yes.
Adrian, how are you?
I'm good. My arms are sore though.
Yeah?
Yep.
I can't see much.
Yeah.
I broke my glasses on Monday. Well, I didn't break them. I put them on my head and they fell off and they split right here at the well.
Mine's splitting here too, actually, up here.
Now, mine was here on this part here. So it's like they've built in a 3-year little self-destruct bomb because there was no indication that was going to break.
Yeah.
And then during the night while I was asleep, this thing went, it blew the weld, and when I picked them up, they just fell off my face.
I damaged mine until that weight fell on my head when I was training in Catherine. I had like a 2.5, like on the 5 pegs on like the side of a Smith machine, you know, those big commercial ones. They had like, you would go the 1.25, 2.5, 5, 10, 15, and 20. I was like, oh, I'll grab that 5 kilo. I didn't notice they had like a 10 kilo one above it. So when I pulled it off, it knocked the 10 kilo one off, went right across my face. So, and like, I was like that. We have nothing to talk about today.
Well, my glasses are expensive. And it's going to take 7 to 10 days. And I've already now, as soon as I put these on, I get a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my eyes start to ache. So I've got to put up with these old ones. I've got about 3 pairs of old glasses, but this was the best ones. The others were really bad. Anyway, 3D energy drinks are now in stock.
They're back in stock. They are back in stock.
They're back in stock finally. Yep. So we've got both fridges here at the gym and at the shop at Choco Block 4, and you can buy them online as well by the carton.
Yes.
So they're in stock. Otherwise, we've got nothing new to really report on in the supplement. It's been a quiet week in terms of new stocks. We've got nothing new in. The casein, the Muscle Nation casein custards are now in stock.
Yep.
And check out our review that we did last week. Polished review that
It's impeccable. You can't beat it.
But that's online now, so check that out on our YouTube page. Apart from that, what else has there anything been happening around the traps, bodybuilding wise?
Arnold Schwarzenegger got his COVID vaccine this morning, or last night.
Oh, did he?
Saw that.
Yeah?
Yep.
Did you see his video that he did last week on Trump?
No.
Because he got a lot of flack for it. So
I bet.
But he was carrying on about Trump being the worst president ever. Trump's gone, Biden's in.
Yep.
The whole world's going to change just like it did on January the 1st. Not. All right, any questions?
Yes, so I got a couple of questions. One, I got from a gentleman named Corey. He asked, why are adrenal supplements worth it? Because there's so much on the market now.
Yep.
Yes, and I did mention this. I did answer this over on Instagram. But yes, they are very much worth it. The benefits, we've gone through these numerous times in the past.
Big fan.
Big fan of adrenal products. Essentially, you would use it to make your body adapt to a stressor or to bring you up if you're feeling flat. Essentially, you just want to, if you're redlining your system with caffeine, with stimulants, with lack of sleep, with bad eating, with with just everything, letting life get to you, you essentially know the system's being redlined for a long time. Like if you idle a car at 7,000 RPM for a long time, it's going to blow faster than it would if it was idling at 1,000. This is the same with your adrenals. So you want to take an adrenal supplement like your Adrenal Switch, your Adrenal RX. What else do we stock in terms of adrenals?
Adrenal RX.
Yep.
The Cortidrone.
Yep. Cortidrone. Yep. Growth Labs.
Yep.
So yeah, these are all adaptogenic. So they're going to help you. If you're anxious, they bring you down. If you're flat, it brings you up. So that's why it's good to use them, and especially in times of stress.
Good for regulating sleep.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So if you're having trouble with asleep, as in like you're tired during the day, you're awake at night. It can reset your cortisol levels, so that is the opposite. Your cortisol levels should be low at night and high in the morning when you wake up. So good sleep patterns, but I find that they just put you to sleep.
Yeah. Doesn't knock you out. There's lull.
No. Yeah. You'll take it, and then all of a sudden you'll notice that I'm getting really, really tired.
Yep.
And you'll get a good night's sleep. So yes, definitely worth it. And I think the reason why everyone's coming out with them is that because the benefits of these products, good products. And I think all the ones we've got are pretty much identical. I've used them all; they all work.
Yep.
So we've got them in tablet form, we've got them in a drink form, whichever you prefer.
I prefer the drink form.
Yeah.
It's like nice.
Yeah, I like the drink, especially the Adrenal Switch is nice. There's lots of flavours as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice drink to have just before you go to bed. Some people just like the convenience of a capsule.
Okay. And the other question I got was from Cliff actually. And I don't know why I asked this, but he goes, what's the difference between fast and like type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers? So I don't know why you asked that. It's been a long time since I've been asked that question.
Yeah, they used to talk about this, like 10 years ago with your training.
Fast twitch and slow twitch fibers.
Yep.
But so the main difference between type 1 and type 2 is one is anaerobic and one's aerobic. So one uses oxygen more than the other in terms of as a energy source. The aerobic system, obviously being the endurance system, uses oxygen more. Anaerobic is more muscular, so fast explosive movements.
Yeah.
Just use it.
Yeah.
But then
is there a benefit to training fast twitch and slow twitch? Remember they used to always talk about 10 years ago, 15 years ago about training explosively for fast twitch fiber activation.
Yeah, but it's since then they've discovered there's 5 types of fast twitch and about 5 or 6 types of slow twitch. So it's like type 1A, type 1B, type 1C. So it's very hard to distinguish one from the other, even at a molecular level. So that's always fun.
Yeah. So really, it's something that you shouldn't even worry about.
No, it's something that just train.
Yeah.
Yeah, just train.
Yeah. Stop complicating things.
Yes. Yeah, we can touch on that.
Yeah.
Everyone complicated everything.
Well, they do overcomplicate everything.
Yeah.
There was an interesting thing that I sent you a meme. Well, it wasn't a meme by Squat Like Chow.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he put up a thing about if everyone took as much effort into their training as they do into their nutrition, they might make more gains.
Yeah. So
and what he was referring to was that most people just don't train hard enough, which is the reason why they don't make any gains.
Yeah, it's you can out-train your bad diet by have you tried to out-train your bad diet? I think the way
That's right. Yeah.
So if you're eating shit and you go and train like you normally would, you're not really doing much in a difference. But if I like to think is like if I had some like real disgusting food, like severely calorically dense, like if I went and had like a pizza and a burger and a tub of ice cream, I'm like the next day I want to have the best workout of my life.
Look, I've known cases of people who pay no attention to their nutrition. They've got really great physiques, but when you see them in the gym, they're like an animal.
Yeah, they train hard.
They train
very
hard.
Yeah.
And I think the problem these days is that people are usually blaming their lack of training intensity on, it's just my nutrition is not good enough.
Yeah, it's always like, I'm just going to get my eating under control.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, I think, and look, that's the case even here at the gym. We see a lot of people here train at the gym and they really don't push themselves to that point where they need to if they want to build some muscle.
I've always said your diet fuels your training.
Yeah.
So if you're eating more calories, you should be able to do more in the gym. If you eat less, you're doing less.
Yeah.
Like even when I give diets to people these days, it's very, very carbohydrate heavy, just because your body needs that sort of fuel source, the carbohydrate source. So when I give someone a diet and they say, I've been eating a lot, and I'm like, okay, how much are you eating? This much. So I'm like, okay, it's around 2,000 calories a day. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, that's nothing. You're lying. So I'll give them a diet, and I'm like, cool, how much do you train? I train this hard, I weigh this much, we do some pinch tests. I'm like, sweet, awesome. This is what you need to eat per day as maintenance. And roughly, you're looking around, let's say an average 80 kilogram male who trains 5 days a week, relatively lean, let's say 13-14% body fat. He's like, he probably needs 3,500 calories maintenance just to maintain that mass if he's training as hard as he said he does. So I'll give someone a diet that's at their maintenance, and that's all I'll do. I'll go, here, eat this. What's this for? Just eat at your maintenance. We'll see what happens. And they lose 3 kilos.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't eat all the food, it's too much food. Like, well, you haven't been eating enough. And then all of a sudden they're training like goddamn monsters because they're eating enough.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's scary, the lack of things that people know about eating. Like, I feel like if you want to live a healthy life, you should learn what a calorie is.
Well, we've spoken about this, that should be a curriculum in school.
100%, yeah, no, 100%. And like, if you go to a kid, like, this is a, donut, this is 300 calories, this is a meal, this is 300 calories, this contains this much sugar, this much fat, and then you got the meal, then you got this much this. You can have both, but what one is better for you in the long run?
That's right.
And people can learn, and they can think, oh, now if I want to have that bit of cake, I can not eat this later on, and still be within the healthy range. So yeah, no, 100%. It should be a curricular activity. It should be taught in schools. It's a very important thing. And then you will see less obesity, and then you will see people go, wow, no obesity now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also getting back to the training intensity, I think there's a number of reasons. Well, I think one of the reasons these days people lacking training intensity is, one, they don't progressively measure their work, so they don't apply a progressive overload to their training. I think some of these mega gyms are a problem as well, because people seem to think that, I've got 27 different pieces of back equipment that I can use here. Every time I work out, I'm going to do something different. Yeah, and this notion of confusing the muscle is a load of crap.
No, you're confusing yourself.
Yeah. I can remember that podcast with Luke Wood, rest his soul, when someone asked him about that. Yeah. And he said, like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, confusing the muscle. Yeah. He was saying, pick 4 exercises per body part, get really, really good at them, do them repetitively for months on end, and you'll grow.
Yeah. Because that's all muscle growth is. It's a. If you look at muscle growth, it's the muscle's way of adapting to a stressor. That's all muscle growth is. And the way you adapt to something is you get used to it, and then you progressively, then you add a little bit more. You get used to it, you add a little bit more. This is what muscle growth is. So if you're doing the same thing day in, day out, the same weight, the same reps, the same notions, the same movements, you're not going to make any difference because your muscle only knows the stressor which you're putting under now, which is practically what you're doing nothing. Like there's no stressor whatsoever. So aim to beat your best, aim to always add a little bit difference. It could be in the form of an extra rep, an extra set, more controlled tempo, or the easiest way I found, an extra half a kilo.
Yeah.
That easy. That's the most easiest way to make progression.
That's right.
Just slow increments. They add up over a long period of time.
Yeah. And
write stuff down.
Write stuff down.
So you
can look back on what your last workout was, because you're not going to remember it. You're not going to remember what you did. So look back on it. And that's what we do. When we do a training block, we do anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks is a training block. And we do the same exercises for 8 weeks. Yeah. Don't change the exercises, but strive to get stronger and progress on them. So regardless of what your training tempo is, whether you just squeeze in your muscles or whatever and slow work, doesn't matter. Squeeze 1 more extra rep next week, or put half a kilo on and squeeze the same amount of reps. That is the simple concept of weight training, and people just overcomplicate it. You know? Yeah.
Sitting on an incline bench with your body turned like this and you're pressing this way is not going to work your inner pec.
No.
It's just going to work your pec.
It's going to work your pec.
You don't have to do something crazy because you saw a pro do it. Pros would do that stuff because they've already spent the years building up that huge foundation of just muscle. And then they're doing those little fine tweaks to, I want to try emphasizing this part. They don't know it's going to work. No. You don't know. There have been no studies on how do you increase your left pec on the 95-degree angle to your right. There's no studies on that, but they'll do it because I can feel it there. I'm going to keep doing it and then see what happens.
Every pro that I've spoken to built their physique on a foundation of big, heavy squats, deadlifts, benches, pressing movements. Now, when they've reached that stage of their career, they're looking to, like you said, refine their physique. They're looking to get that little bit more separation between their front and their side delt. So they are going to go back to lighter weights and more squeezing at different tempos to try and isolate that muscle. So don't emulate when you see pros training unless you see them deadlifting 300 kilos for reps.
I haven't seen a lot of people emulate that. Like, still to this day, James Hollingshead is one of the best bodybuilders to follow on Instagram.
Mike Pearson.
Yeah, Mike.
Follow Mike Pearson. This guy is deep into a contest prep. He's like 6 weeks out from a comp.
Yep.
Deadlifting 300 kilos.
That's good. You put me into another segue now, because I'm just thinking that there's this notion that during comp prep you have to train lighter.
Oh yeah, I've dropped the weights and increased the reps.
You're going to get weaker. Yeah, of course you're going to get weaker, because your body's not going to have the abundance of fuel available to fuel your muscles to work out longer or harder than you had before. But you can damn well try.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is the mental tenacity that I feel terrible, I feel tired. You know, but when you watch Hollingshead, Mike Pearson, these guys, like Mike now, is virtually contest ready.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's squatting 300, deadlifting 300.
Yeah.
Just enormous weights and still looking massive.
Don't put your training down just because your energy levels are going to be low. No. Keep that the same, because the idea in a comp prep is you want to maintain or even add a little bit more muscle on during a prep. Yeah. I always tell your comp, just because you go into a comp prep, your training shouldn't change. The only thing that changes is you add cardio in and you're starting to drop calories in your nutrition. That's it. You should always consider that as soon as you walk into the gym, you're going in there to build muscle and get stronger. Yeah. Doesn't matter what the phase. Our training doesn't change because you're in a comp track. No. When I was competing, my training didn't change. I kept training the same with the notion of building muscle and getting stronger. That's it. All I changed was my nutrition, added in cardio. Yeah. And if we go back to our stressor before, if you've been lifting, imagine you've had this huge off season. You've hit PBs, you've been eating more, you've been feeling great in the gym. Your muscle has adapted to that level of work. Now then you go, okay, I'm going to drop my food back because I'm trying to lose body fat now, but I'm also going to drop my training in regards to that. You're now applying less stress on the muscle, causing it to adapt or to get smaller in that case because you're using less weight. Yeah. And then that's going to keep going. You're going to go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm feeling a bit weaker now. I'm going to drop weight a little bit more, but I'll go more higher rep. I'll still squeeze more. Again, the stressor before was better because I had more weight. And then you slowly fall in this very deadly curve of being full of muscle, and then by the time you get on stage, you look stringy, you look flat. Yeah. And then you come out of prep and you're like, oh, now I'm going to start eating more. But now you're fatter than you were before because you've got less muscle to maintain, to burn. It's I feel like, see what I mean? I've opened something here.
Well, it's true, but yeah. Anyway, we can leave it at that.
Yep.
That's it. Thanks everyone for joining in. If you've got any questions, hit us up. Hit this guy up. He puts up lots of stories, question and answers them on the spot, and we will recover them here as well. But yeah, good episode on training. Yeah. Don't forget 3D Energy are in stock. And don't forget Australian Muscle Online, australianmuscle.com.au. We do free delivery in Adelaide, and a lot of the times I will do the delivery.
Yep.
You're paying the same prices as you're paying in store and you're paying online. Yep. There's no difference, and we carry the cost of the delivery for you. And that's nationwide.
Yeah. You also get little handwritten notes from Kim Adrian here. You get one from me, it's chicken scratch. I can't write. But they're there because we thank everyone with every single purchase.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Yep. As always, this episode is brought to you by Australian Muscle and Australian Muscle Online and Australian Muscle the Gym. And don't forget, next week we will talk about the new pieces of equipment and the changes.
Super exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah. So by this time next week, we'll have some changes to the gym. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.